l'italiano, che baseball non si traduce proprio.
Nein, ich bin nicht ein Bär.
Hola.
Buenos días.
Ciao, mi chiamo Jacqueline.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Pam Alvarado. Je me spécialise en français.
Me llamo Olivia.
Mi chiamo José Rodríguez, sto studiando l'italiano.
First, just to be bilingual, I think is always an advantage no matter what field you're going into. I loved it. I loved learning about the culture.
The Department of Languages, Literatures and Cultures offers 10 languages. These include Spanish, French, Russian, Italian, Portuguese, German, Dutch, Arabic, Hebrew, and Latin. Our department focuses on making the students highly competent in understanding the language, which means the structure, its history.
I think that's the most amazing part is when you can say, you know, I'm taking a linguistics class, but it just happens to be not only about the Spanish language, but in the Spanish language.
The students have the opportunities to use some of the software that we think at times could complement what we do in the classroom.
I would say it's a pretty tight-knit community here for languages. Here you have conversation, here you have your classmates. They're motivated, they want to learn the language. The singing and dancing, I love it. Through music, you are able to learn new vocabulary, grammar, even how to sing Italian.
This year we are starting the International House, where students who have interest in a foreign language can share the same dorm, and in addition they can take part in activities.
There is a Russian club that meets every Friday, so that's one opportunity. Although I'm not of a Russian-speaking background, I do consider Russian part of my identity, and it's helped shape who I am today.
It's pretty cool to be able to think in more than one language.
I remember the moment when I first realized that I wasn't translating in my head anymore. I didn't sit there and think like, okay, what does that word mean in English? It just made sense in Spanish. And I think that's when you know, like, I'm doing well at this. I'm getting better.
You never know when you can help somebody.
I was walking to school one day and this French woman stops me.
And I saw a lady who only spoke Italian.
And without even thinking about it,
I was able to help her.
And then she left and I thought, wow, I just gave someone directions. I am a Parisian now.
After graduation, I plan to go to med school. Part of my internship, I did my first rotation in the emergency room, and it was completely in Spanish. I learned a lot of words in Spanish before I even learned them in English. I studied abroad in Madrid. You kind of start to feel like you're part of that culture. I lived with a host mother, so I got to see how dinner works, how they have breakfast, riding the metro, just walking through the city.
Mi piace studiare la lingua alla Università di Albany perché ci sono molte opportunità per me nel futuro.
Once they graduate, some students work in government, in addition to education.
I want to go to grad school and hopefully get a PhD in Spanish, and I hope that I can share that with students one day.
I think it's important to know a foreign language because it gives you perspective on the rest of the world.
It's almost like a passport to all these other different countries.
You can go abroad and understand the world through their eyes instead of just your own.
Languages connect people and they allow you to open up your own mind.
La Universidad de Albany, el mundo a tu alcance.
Il mondo a portata di mano.
The University at Albany, the world within reach.